And welcome back to our Black Excellence Talk. We're having about all these movies. I'm Brian the Grizzly here. This week I got Danny, Words of Wisdom, the one I get to talk to. Every morning I wake up, I'm like, okay, let's see this link. Let's see what he's talking
Okay,
about.
good
So,
deal.
man, hey, Danny, why don't you shout out your channels? Tell everybody what you do every week, all the shows you're on.
Monday we have mainly is our flagship show. Our channel is called Chaos Central. It was started first by Chris Knight, and I joined on. Then Anzo, the third member, and then we have guests on there. Usually Guy Scar on my show, and then we usually have other people on the different shows. Whoever you want to invite. But basically, man, we just talk pop culture, MCU, DCU, that kind of stuff. Whatever kind of tickles our fancy that particular time. Then on Wednesday, I'm on a show called The Hangout with Guy Scar and several others, DJ, um, Alternator, and we just talk G Money, and we just talk about different things, whatever Guy Scar has on the channel. Then Friday, we usually do something called the ranking, where we have like 50 to 60 movies or categories, and we rank them from best to worst. Then on Sunday nights, I do
Those are like
something
my
called
funnest ones, man. It's the one you do on
yeah,
Friday, when you do the
yeah,
rankings. That's so
yeah,
much fun
yeah.
because you guys argue about so much
Man,
stuff.
it's,
It's
it's,
great.
it's funny, man. And Sunday nights, I'm gonna show at Storm's Live, and Robert Storm is the guy that first got me into this because I saw him and I was like, man, I wish I could do that right there. And then I hounded him probably about 6 months, and he finally gave me a shot. If we go back and watch about 4 years ago, my videos are crap because I had crappy equipment, crappy internet, and he used to be on me hard. So I'm like, okay, I'm tired of hearing his mouth, so I'm gonna buy this stuff. And then I do my show called The Road to Wisdom, my solo show. I do it every Monday morning, Wednesday morning, and Friday morning. That's kind of coming from a spiritual aspect. Last year, I became more spiritually enlightened, gave my life to God, and I try to impart words of wisdom through the scripture, through definition, and then my 53 years on this earth experience. I have 3 kids, and every morning I used to send them something. So I kind of parlayed that into the actual show. And I enjoy it, and I give a lot of
Yeah.
positive feedback. Some things kind of step on people's toes, but hey, it is what it is.
We're doing the Black Excellence in cinema. Been doing it all month. I really want to continue to do this as long as I
There are
can.
so many good movies.
We're going to talk today about Lean on Me.
All
Uh,
right,
it was
another great
made in
actor,
1989.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Even then, 1989, Morgan Freeman still looked old. Mr. Clark was still old then.
Mhm.
And, we had what's his name?
I'm a,
Robert Giammi. I don't know.
the guy
I
that
don't
played
know.
the guy that played Benson,
Yes,
Robert
yeah.
Lugone or Lugane or something like that.
So I
That
mean,
he got one of the most iconic scenes, man. Contrary to popular belief, I and
I am the.
now let's go get something to eat. So I was like, man, I remember. And I'm gonna tell you my age, man. I don't know if you remember the show called Electric Company,
Of course, the electric company. Oh my god!
but that's where Morgan Freeman got to start from. If you go back and look, Morgan Freeman played on Electric Company.
I remember that. I know. I heard a lot about it too.
Yep,
Um,
that was in
Michael
the
Beach. I love Michael Beach. Uh, if you don't know who he was the father to Mantis and Aquaman. He was the bad guy in
um
Soul Food. What?
yeah, the guy that he
Uh,
was Black Manta's daddy.
yep, exactly.
Yeah. He's
So
a fantastic actor. I like him.
fantastic, and doesn't get his flowers enough.
You don't.
This movie is just Lean on Me is such a great movie because you're talking about once again being in the hood, being proud of your environment, and then being proud of it and changing the way things work. Because I don't know, we've all been living in areas where their schools are are known as being historically black, that were always
Mhm.
run down, didn't have good books, drug dealers walking into school, things like that were always happening. I remember when I was growing up, it was finger. That's just what they did, and they literally they chained the doors, they closed the doors, they locked the doors behind everybody and wouldn't let you out
I've
because
always
you had to.
Yeah, I've always heard of that. I grew up in the South. We didn't have it quite that bad. Like drug dealers, we saw the drug dealers as I started getting like in high school, but we never had to chain the doors or anything. And I've never seen the violence like I did in Lean on Me. How and we had school pride. Um, but our grades wasn't that low, and we had pretty reasonable. Our facilities wasn't as bad as it portrayed. But then as I grew up and start learning more about Black culture, then that movie like, okay, yeah, that in some places it's tough. You don't realize how bad it is until you see it, and then you talk to people that actually live that life. But yeah, that movie is definitely it showed perseverance.
Mhm.
It showed like in the young girl, um, she getting got pregnant at a young age and
Yep.
didn't think the mother loved her, and the mother did love her, and it's
But didn't
just
have to have an idea expressed because that's another thing. You have trauma,
yep.
familiar trauma within Black culture. That they showed that they showed uh, socioeconomic problems that you have in our
Mhm,
culture. They showed like even within the people that try to lead, you have arguments and you can't get along with them. But at least in that movie, you had positive male role models, and I think that's
mhm,
what I really got out of that more than anything.
yeah.
Um, I
You
think, especially me being in Chicago, there's
you
not
can
a
see
lot of
it.
positive male role models there
I can
for these
remember.
young men.
I agree. I remember the disconnect too because the first music teacher, she wanted to teach like Mozart and that kind of stuff, which is good, but they didn't even know the school alma mater and stuff, and she
Mm,
didn't really appeal to them. She kind of felt, I think she felt like she's maybe a little bit better than they were. She don't know why she had to work in a place like this, kind of squandering her skills. But then the confrontation between her and Mr. Clark, and then when he replaced her with the black lady who was more in touch with the culture, and then she changed up the school alma mater.
and
That was really cool.
understood. And
Yeah,
I loved understood where they come from.
yeah.
Understand the neighborhood. You don't come in just to work. You actually live there. And I thought that was so very important. People from the neighborhood staying in the neighborhood, involving in the neighborhood, putting themselves back in, investing. That's where I get out of this movie. I mean, I think that was really good, especially coming out of the '80s, coming out of we had a lot of drug issues in the '80s. We had a lot of things that were brought into the inner cities during that time. So seeing it in a different way, I thought that was really important
Now,
and
I've
influential.
I've always wrestled with this. Let's say I stay in a really bad neighborhood, like whatever bad neighborhood. If I'm able to work and get out of there, I don't know if I'm gonna let my family live in that environment. Now I would put back in that community, or I would try to mentor. But if I knew I had to fight every day and had to fight the gangs and do it, if I'm able to get out, I can't see putting my kids through that because a parent should always want better, in my opinion, for their children. Now, if you can't do any better, then of course, by all means, make the best out of a bad situation. But if you're able to get out of that per se bad neighborhood that you got to fight a drug dealer every day, if your son or your daughter wear a certain kind of clothes or shoes,
Yeah,
you gotta
worry
get
about.
you gotta get out of that.
I think
Now,
you open up a much bigger idea right now because I really want to talk about that. That's really awesome that you even said this. I think we lose with integration. I think that we lost the ability to grow as a group. When you're segregated, you're forced to you're forced to stay. Black people are forced to stay with black people. You couldn't move out. You couldn't move anywhere, so you made the neighborhood better.
mhm.
But once we got integration, you can get out of that place that you've been put in for the last 400 years. You do have you owe it to your family, to be able to do those things. And it's hard because I know some people say you have to stay in the neighborhood, make it better. And other people say your family doesn't have time for you to try to make those decisions. And that's hard. I don't know which one's the right answer at all. Um,
And then what I see as a culture is that if we do get out of the neighborhood, then we label sellouts, or you forgot about us, or you think you this because you get out. We get to stay back here. And I mean, I can't take everybody. Yes, I mean, I can take some, maybe depending on the financial windfall I get. But if I got a good job, my wife had a good job, we able to afford a house in the suburbs or on the outskirt of that. I can't take the whole neighborhood, and I don't. And as a culture, I see that we always kind of be mad and jealous because of somebody's else come up, and that I don't like. I shouldn't be made to feel guilty because I was able to get out or I was able to put in the hard work. Now, if I stole something, or got something unjustly or criminal element, that's one thing. But if I work and I bust my butt, I go to school, get a good job, my wife got a good job, and we get out, I don't understand why we made to be feel guilty because we got out. And a lot
That's
of
a
times
big
that's that in our culture.
yeah, but then you have a problem with now you left all the top 10 percenters, the WB Du Bois, the 10%, the top 10% move out of the neighborhood, and now you don't have those role models in the neighborhood consistently anymore, and it's hard. And it's funny because I'm saying this as I've also had to I moved out of my neighborhood. I work in the inner city, I have open stores in the inner city, but I live out of suburbs,
Yeah.
because my family, better education, better all these opportunities, it's is there. But it's still something that is wrestled with within our own culture. Um, do you try to make something better even though we have knucklehead that doesn't want to do it the same way, do you put your family at risk trying to get that to work, or do you move and then try to come back and try to help?
I think if you let's say if you come into a financial windfall
Hmm.
and you are able to move your family out of it, if you're able to create a black business and create jobs per se in that neighborhood or some kind of center or something positive for that particular neighborhood, then I think you're doing the right thing. You don't have to live in a community to be a part of a community. A lot of people
Exactly.
get that confused. But like I I don't live in the city where I work. I live in the city a town over from where I work at. But I'm still a part of the community where I work at. More so there than where I live at. I just joined the Crime Stoppers community here in the city I live in, but I have more ties to the place I work at because I'm there 5 days a week, 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours a day. So I know more people there. But people, like I said, especially in our community, mm, and I'm in an interracial marriage, and I didn't see it in my wife's community because I interact with them, and they just don't. They a lot of times they congratulate you and be like, "Hey, thank you," or "That's good." "Hey, you want some tips on this?" Sometimes you see in our community. I ain't gonna say all the time, but more times than not, you have some sour grapes, and I don't understand that concept or that way of thinking,
It's a
especially if I
deep
get it justly.
it's a deep thing. It's one of those things. Do you do things for a group, or do you do it for yourself? And then even with that group, there's the group if the group is not doing right by it, should you still continue to do that? I mean, it's hard, to make that decision. And I think it is when part where you work. Sometimes if you part of that community, do as much as you can there, and then if you have to go out, you have to go out. And it's
Mhm.
about you living your own life, but you also want to not forget who you left behind, and still be role models, and still being that person that could, grab one, each one reach one, each one teach one, each one grab me and bring one on. So I mean, that's always a concept, and that has to be what we do still. Just getting back to the movie for us,
All right.
what parts of the movie really hold dear to you? Like you really watching, it's like it really does something to you.
Okay. The one with him when he confronts Benson
Mhm.
in the room one on one. When he confronts the boys in the bathroom and he said they
Oh,
better
the
learn the
singing.
alma mater, and they start singing the new alma mater. The one where him and the young principal blew up, he threw over the desk.
Mhm.
That sticks in my mind. And then at the end, when they're protesting
Free
and
Mr. Clark.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're not going anywhere and whatever he's saying. We don't want you. We want Mr. Clark or something that he said.
yeah.
And and then when he got the grades and he found out the grades and they start saying alma mater on the steps. Um, there's a lot of different parts. That's like one of my all-time favorite movies. Um, you call me Crazy Joe, but you could call me Batman.
Yeah.
So it's all different. And
But,
then
it takes a strong personality that's very sure of himself to be able to do those things. Some of the nominations we got for the movie, the NAACP and Image Award for Outstanding Actor and a Motion Picture. The screenplay was amazing. There was a NCAA award for Outstanding Motion Picture. And it's funny, this shows how much it's come because that was the level of success you get for a black movie.
Mhm.
Now you get a black movie, you don't see it as a in the Academy Awards or in the Oscars. We have a feel a certain type of way, but
Mhm.
that's as far as it went. We only got outstanding actress, outstanding actor, supporting actor, great motion picture for the NCAA
Yeah.
and NAACP. I said
Yeah.
NCAA, NAACP. That's all we got, which was crazy, and it's just the
And one thing
things
about that
that
movie too, it holds up.
exactly. You can still
It
watch
it
it today, and it's just the same thing as what we see now.
it is timeless. Some movies, they kinda lose some of their, I guess, their mojo when you watch it, but if that movie comes on now and I'm not doing anything, I'm probably gonna sit down and watch it.
Okay, guys, this is our lean on me. This is talking about black excellence. This is an excellent film. We know that we have excellent acting, directing, screenplay, and what it did for the community is amazing. Um, Danny, I want to thank you for coming on talking about this again. Can you shout out your channel one more time before we
My main
bounce?
my main channel is The Road to Wisdom. I will be doing one tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you type in Danny Graham and Road to Wisdom on YouTube and you can come up to me and check me out, man. I usually go no more than about 30 minutes. I just tell my 2 cents, my spin on a particular word or particular topic. I come at it from a definition point of view, a spiritual point of view, and then I try to do a quote about it. So check it out, man. I try to put a lot of hard work into that, man.
Hey, so join me tomorrow, guys, if you get a chance to do it. So once again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, get a chance. Road to Wisdom. Type it into YouTube. It's always there. So thanks, guys. Um, thanks for
Peace.
doing this thing with me, Danny. And Black Excellence, we're gonna keep it going. We got some more stuff. I know it's the end of the month, but we're gonna keep it going. So
That'll work.
appreciate everyone watching this video. A like, comment, let us know what you think about it, and we'll catch you guys later.